Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another Real Talk episode. And for today's video, we're talking about something many foreign men complain about online. Too emotional. She's dramatic. She overreacts. She always wants reassurance. She starts fights over small things. But here's the uncomfortable truth many people don't talk about. Sometimes she's not traumatic. Sometimes she's emotionally starving. And the sad part is, emotional starvation does not always look like sadness. Sometimes it looks like nagging, silence, mood swings, overthinking, clinginess, sudden coldness, or constant testing. Because when emotional needs go unmet long enough, people stop asking calmly. Now, before anyone gets offended, this conversation is not about attacking foreign men, and it's not about pretending all Filipinas are innocent either. Some women are manipulative. Some women are toxic. Some women use emotions to control, but many situations people call drama are actually emotional disconnection that has been ignored for a long time, for too long. And if we're being honest, a lot of foreign men completely underestimate how emotionally relational Filipino culture really is. In many Western cultures, love is often shown through independence, freedom, space, practicality. But in Filipino culture, love is often shown through presence, checking in, asking if you ate, good morning text, updates, affection, small reassurance, soft attention. To many Filipinas, those little things are love. So when those things slowly disappear, she does not interpret it as, oh, it's just busy. She interprets it emotionally. He's changing. He's losing interest. I'm no longer important. He stopped seeing me. And this is where the misunderstandings begins. Because many foreign men think, if I'm still here, then obviously I still love you. But many Filipinas think, if you love me, why do I suddenly feel alone beside you? That is a very different emotional language. And honestly, many men don't realize emotional starvation happens slowly, very slowly. At first, she communicates gently. Baby, you seem distant lately. You don't talk to me the same. I miss the old us. But if her emotional concerns get dismissed repeatedly, you're overthinking, you're too sensitive, you're dramatic again. Something changes. Now she stops feeling emotionally safe. And once emotional safety disappears, small issues suddenly feel huge because the argument is no longer about the message or the late reply or the forgotten date. It becomes about emotional abandonment. That's why some Filipinas cry over small things because to her, the small thing confirmed the bigger fear. And many foreign men do not understand this because men often process emotions differently. A lot of men withdraw when stressed. They become quieter, more logical, more detached. But many Filipinas become more emotional when connection feels threatened. Not because they enjoy conflict, but because they are trying to reconnect emotionally. That is why Tampo is misunderstood so often. Foreign men think she's immature, she wants attention, she's creating problems. But many times, Tampo is emotional protest. It's the emotional version of saying, please notice me, please reassure me, please show me I still matter. Now, of course, healthy communication matters. Nobody should weaponize emotions. Nobody should manipulate through guilt. And nobody should create chaos daily. But emotional neglect is also dangerous. And this is something many couples don't talk about enough. Because some men think providing financially is enough. And yes, providing matters. Especially in the Philippines, where many women were raised seeing sacrifice as love. But emotional presence matters too. A woman can live in a beautiful house and still feel emotionally abandoned. She can receive gifts and still feel invisible. She can sleep beside a man every night and still feel completely alone. And once emotional loneliness builds up, the relationship starts becoming emotionally unstable. Now she reacts suddenly, strongly. Now she overthinks. Now she checks your mood constantly. Now intimacy changes. Now she becomes insecure. And the man says, "Why is she acting like this?" Without realizing the relationship became emotionally cold months ago. Let's talk also about another uncomfortable truth. Some foreign men enter relationships with Filipinas because they want softness, traditional femininity, warmth, nurturing energy. But they forget something important. Soft women still need emotional care. A nurturing woman who feels emotionally neglected long enough eventually becomes exhausted. And when a woman becomes emotionally exhausted, her femininity changes. She becomes defensive, suspicious, reactive, emotionally heavy. Not because she woke up wanting drama, but because emotional starvation changes people, especially people who love deeply. And honestly, many Filipinas love very deeply, sometimes too deeply. That's why emotional inconsistency affects many of them hard. One week affectionate, next week emotionally unavailable. 1 month sweet, next month cold and dismissive. The emotional confusion creates anxiety, especially in a long distance relationships. And let's be real, many foreign men are not emotionally expressive. Some grew up in a cultures where men were taught, don't talk too much, don't be emotional, handle problems alone. So they think silence equals peace. But many Filipinas experience prolonged silence as emotional distance. This is why one person thinks, we are fine, while the other quietly feels unsolved. And by the time the relationship explodes, the man is shocked. She changed overnight. No, usually she didn't. Usually she was emotionally starving slowly while trying to survive quietly first, and this conversation becomes even deeper when pride enters the relationship. Because some men refuse reassurance. They think, if I reassure her too much, she'll become dependent. If I explain myself too much, I'll lose power. So instead, they become emotionally withholding, cold, detached, hard to read. But emotional withholding creates emotional insecurity, especially with someone who naturally seeks emotional closeness. And then both people start hurting each other accidentally. The woman becomes more emotional, trying to reconnect. The man becomes colder, trying to escape pressure. And now both people think the other person is the problem, when really they stop understanding each other's emotional language. And now again, this is not excuse toxic behavior. Jealousy can become unhealthy. Emotional dependency can become draining. Constant fighting destroys peace. But emotional neglect destroys relationships too. And some women are not asking for luxury, they are asking for emotional consistency. There's a difference. A simple message, a warm tone, eye contact, affection, reassurance, attention without irritation. Sometimes that's all she wanted. And many foreign men realize this too late after the relationship becomes emotionally damaged. Because once a woman feels emotionally unwanted long enough, something shuts down inside her too. Now she becomes colder, less affectionate, less excited, less emotionally available. And ironically, that is usually when the man suddenly starts panicking. Now he misses her softness, but softness cannot survive long term emotional starvation. And that's the truth many people don't talk about. And honestly, this conversation goes both ways. Women also need to learn emotional regulation. Not every fear means betrayal, not every silence means abandonment, not every delay reply loss of love. Healthy love requires maturity from both people. But empathy matters too. Understanding matters, and maybe instead of immediately calling someone dramatic, ask yourself first, When was the last time they genuinely not emotionally safe with me? And that question changes everything because many people don't become emotional for no reason. Sometimes they become emotionally hungry inside a relationship that slowly stopped feeding the heart. And that's the difference between drama and emotional starvation. So, for those looking for a real relationship built on emotional connection, understanding, and shared values, not just appearances or fantasy, platforms like Christian Filipina dating site remind people that love grows stronger when communication, respect, and emotional presence are part of the foundation. The only dating site that I can recommend, try now, Christian Filipina. You can find the link in the description box and the pinned comment section. Thank you so much and have a go.